care, this is the perfect time to discover it. Families have trusted us for generations, and we're proud to introduce us to the family care that's proven and nationally recognized. From routine care to advanced procedures, we bring state-of-the-art treatment close to home, all designed with you in mind. New building, expanded services, same commitment to this community. Trinity Health, we see all of you. I don't know this bread.
There's an Aldi brand.
All right, what's going on, everybody? John here with you. It's a Friday, May 8th, 2026. How's everybody doing out there today? I'm going to pull up the lineups here for you. Head coached by Martin Saint-Louis, 48, 24, and 10 are the third seed in the Montreal Canadiens. They're 4-4 so far in the playoffs. Their lineup sounds like this: Nick Suzuki, Cole Caufield, Juraj, Slafkovsky, Mike Matheson, Alexander Carrier. Jake Evans, Alex Newhook, Ivan Demidov with Caden Gooley and Lane Hutson, Philip Danault, Alexander Texier, Josh Anderson, Joe Valeno, Zach Bolduc, and Kirby Doc with Arbor Jackeye and Noah Dobson will be on the third line. Jakub Dobesh will be the goaltender of record. And for the Buffalo Sabres, they sit 50, 23, and 9 on the year. They are 5-2 so far in the postseason. Their lineup, head coached by Lindy Ruff, sounds like this: Tage Thompson, Peyton Krebs, Alex Tuch, Rasmus Dahlin, Matthias Samuelsson. We'll make sure I get my recorder up here. Ryan McLeod, Jason Zucker, Jack Quinn, Bowen Byram, Owen Power, Josh Norris, Zach Benson, Josh Doan, Tyson Korsak, Jordan Greenway, and Beck Mallenstein with Logan Stanley and Connor Timmins. Alex Lyon will be the goaltender of record for the Sabres. I'm just going to remove this portion for the recorder. We'll start it when we start the game. The Buffalo Sabres begin this series with a victory. They won 4-2. The Sabres outshot Montreal 28-16. Scored 4 times, though. Buffalo goes 2 for 3 on the power play. Montreal 1 for 2. Doan, McLeod, Greenway, and Byram. McLeod and Byram with the power play goals all score. Nick Suzuki and Kirby Doc answer for Montreal. Alex Lyon was strong as he stopped 26 of 28. Dobesh had a rough game, stopping just 12 of 16 in the loss. Now, admittedly, I'm very excited to go back and cover this because we've seen these teams a couple times. I've covered them in the regular season, and their 4 meetings in the Atlantic. And really, the Buffalo Sabres, they have their coming out party now. And you figured they were going to be good for a long time, but it took them a little bit to get going and a little bit of a GM movement to get things going around, as they got Ukko-Pekka now there with Buffalo. But for Montreal, you also have Kent Hughes, I think, is one of the best GMs in all of the league, right? So for the Canadiens, if Dobesh continues to play well, he did not in the first game, but if he continues to play well, as I've actively talked about, then Montreal in the future can compete for Stanley Cups, if not right now. And again, it's pretty much all things considered between Buffalo or Montreal. When one of these teams advances, they're probably going to face the Carolina Hurricanes. Who knows what happens after that, but I would give Montreal or Buffalo, should they advance in this series, a really good chance against Carolina to go to the Stanley Cup final. I know Carolina's probably the favorite. They're happy, I'm sure, that the Florida Panthers are no longer in their way to try to get in efforts to a Stanley Cup final. But why not Buffalo? Why not Montreal? They're good enough offensively, and they're ready for a big moment like this. It's a shame that they're already meeting now. It's too bad they won't be meeting in the Eastern Conference Finals. But in this game, too, it's been a bunch of game twos for me all week in between Colorado and Vegas. And then we had the mix the other night. And then you got this here. I should say Colorado, Minnesota, and then Vegas yesterday. And then now you have this between Buffalo and Montreal. It's been a mix of game twos all the way across the week. So we'll get this done today. And then I have a assignment tomorrow to cover it from home between the Shadow and the Kings locally in the Michigan Independence Hockey League. That should end the season on Saturday. Then I'll have the write-up and then a video make, and then it's be all done for me up until October for that. But after that's done, we're going to go back to the Stanley Cup playoffs and everything else and get that all squared away too. So should have a lot of fun tonight. Your guess is as good as mine who wins. That's why I threw this in the question, who wins this series? The one vote, I put that at 53 minutes before this was done. The one vote is for Montreal. They're on the back foot now, being down 1-0 in this series with this last game at KeyBank before we switch over. But we'll see what we get tonight. I'm looking forward to it. That was a very good rendition of both anthems, and that is excellent work for the young lady. Ryan Miller, most goalie wins in franchise history for the Sabres, is in attendance to bang the drum to begin here for Game 2 at KeyBank. Let's Go Buffalo chants will rain down, and I am really excited to get this one going here. All right, let's get going. We're dropping the puck here. As this is a good cancel off near the left side red line. It's going to be Buffalo, and the jerseys of all blue in the mix of the gold striping have that typical logo there with the swords, as Josh Norris, the Oxford, Michigan native, will try to pick this near the left side. Again, it's just good to see him on the ice. He's dealt with so many injuries here. This is rimmed around the inboards now by the Montreal Canadiens. Picked up back from behind the inboards for Rasmus Dahlin. On the left side red line now. That's where the puck is as Slafkovsky tries to pry this loose. Again, Alec and Ian had coverage. This is game 1. I'm going to have game 2. And then the late one will be behind us, I believe. And we'll finish that one off between Minnesota and Colorado. That's not going to be till Saturday. But let me go ahead and pull this up now as this puck is in behind the goal crease. As it'll be Vegas and Anaheim at 9:30, they'll get going in for Game 3 as that ships to the Honda Center. Flip back in toward the right side boards as this will be recollected. Alex Tuch try to get this across the wall. Opportunity now for Tage Thompson off the spin and turn. The assistant captain trying to keep it alive for Tuch. As this goes to the left side boards, Tage, he gets a little inside out positioning, absolutely bowls over one of the Canadiens. Peyton Krebs loses it. And now Montreal will start possession with Martin and Sam Lee squad. Here's a chance for Hutson. Pass across, scores! First shot of the game For Montreal, it's Alex Newhook. And at 18:24, the Canadiens draw first blood. Alex Newhook is the one that scored it. So it's a 1-0 lead for Montreal inside the first 2 minutes. Again, they haven't updated the shot board correctly. Should be 1 shot for Montreal, maybe 1 for Buffalo. There they go. So put it on the TNT side. That's what we'll be watching today. From under some basketball scores as well. As this pass will get picked off. Texier throw this quickly up ahead. Jack-Eye will make a drop pass. As this is recollected near the left side red line here for Buffalo. They'll try to transition from left to right. Good forecheck here for the Canadiens early. And this will send this back for Rasmus Dahlin. Now in power. They'll go ahead and take this one and push this one up the ice. There will be a chance for Dobson to go ahead and play this quickly. It's a good Buffalo forecheck. Almost canceled that out as Samuelson couldn't get there. Bolduc makes this pass across Joe Veleno now. Low spin in turn. Veleno gets rocked. They're behind the right side of the boards. Here's Jack-Eye with a shot. And Alex Lyon up in the left pad. Able to make that screen save in front of a screen. As this goes back down the left side, as I trip all over myself so far on this broadcast. So I'm a little bit exhausted. As this will be stopped by Dobson. Gingerly with the goal stick. Kirby Dach. Now back around for Jack-Eye. It's Kirby trying to get out of his own end here for Joseph Veleno, one-time former Red Wing who did not do much when he was there, but he's been better since he left. Again, that's been a lot of that between the Canucks and the Red Wings. Every time anyone leaves, they just get better. Here's a chance. Dobson makes an initial save and then slides toward the left post as Norris couldn't put it in. Buffalo holds the left side blue line. Here's a toe drag move. Buffalo now is just kept on the outside for Zach Benson. Now at the point, here's a one-time ripper, and this one bounces off the left side of the glass, and Montreal will get things going again. Hutson, who's already got a primary assist from Newhook, sends this up a short side chance, picked up near the left dot. Pass gets hopped out of the air, and Sauce now back to Caufield. Caufield will go ahead and spin and turn, as he gets hit pretty hard, and near the left side boards by Benson. Still working with the puck now is Juraj Slafkovsky. Slafkovsky, as he tried to go in between the legs, was Caufield, short side chance, and this one canceled off. And now Montreal forces a steal again, backhand, and Caufield will be met by Alex Lyon in the glove hand. We'll have to do this draw again. Tage Thompson will get set to take it. Mike Matheson will be the one straight back, as now we get a confab here for the jerseys in blue. I really love that Buffalo logo with the double swords. As Matheson lets it go, and this will run the catching glove, no screen of the, again, one-time Red Wing, Alex Lyon, who I miss dearly. I think he could have had wonderful backup duties alongside John Gibson when they decided to keep Cam Talbot and not him. But that was another Eisenman decision. And one of those ones I really didn't agree with. Unless he wanted to make the change, as they get some camera shots of Lindy, Ruff, and Martin Saint-Louis. One more of these to be done by Philip Danault. He wins it. Matheson again. He scores off the redirect. It's 2-0. I think Matheson's going to get credit for the goal. Top left corner, bounced in past Lyon. 2 quick goals for Montreal, not even 5 minutes in, and they lead 2-0. We'll see if it's Matheson's goal. I think it is. Yeah, Matheson from Dano at 4:27. So Matheson scores off the short side rip from the Dano faceoff win, and it's 2-0 Montreal. Again, we've seen games like this between the two as the crowd started to boo a little bit in the first 5 minutes. I'm sure the Montreal fans that have traveled not too far for them, I don't think, are definitely enjoying this right now. 5-3 on the shot board for Montreal as it's Caden Gooley now up the ice for Jackeye. And he'll leave alongside for Owen Power. Power now. There for Samuelson and his defensive partner. Try to get this out. Stolen again by Doc. And Buffalo will have to start their own end left to right. Again, they're in the blue jerseys with the gold striping. Tage Thompson. He has all 6'6" of him. Now for Peyton Krebs. Now to the left side boards. A sharp angle chance. Tuch can't get out of the goal crease. He was just being held. As this will be flipped back down here for Montreal. They've done such a good job in the forecheck here so far in dictating the pace. Probably got a little bit lucky on the latest goal as this goes off sides and deflected. But still, they've been on the front foot. They've had a great start to the game, and they deserve their lead. So it's Newhook from Caden Gooley and Hutson and Matheson from Dano. That's what I have right now on the ESPN portion of the box. Be a center ice draw. 14-19 left to go in the first. And Mike Matheson and Alex Newhook have the first goals, not even inside the first 5 minutes when they scored those. Right now, officially 14-10 left to go in the first. But it's a great start for Montreal. They've been active on the forecheck. A little fortuitous with their luck, but again, that's what you got to do. You got to be great on the front foot. You want to go back and tie this series and have an answer. And I've said it a lot for Montreal. If you get a little bit of goaltending help, that's all you really need to maybe get yourself even to the Eastern Conference Finals, let alone the Stanley Cup Finals. They're that good to do so right now, and I do think Stanley Cups will be in Montreal's future. I like their team a lot. As this is lifted now to the left side boards. Will be picked up now. Here for the defense, as this is sent back around. Thompson will put this one wide. This is sent out in front of the blue paint, and be picked up now by Caden Gooley. Off an outstretch, a little too far for Slafkovsky. But this will turn into a break for Suzuki. He slides it 5-hole, and Alex Lyon has the save underneath his glove hand. I had to wait for the referee to signify that was a pool ball pass. But it's all Montreal early. They're looking good. Alex Newhook.
We have 2 kids, 5 dogs, 6 cruisers.
And a truck. It's really important to stay connected, being in the rural area.
The biggest thing with switching over to T-Mobile's 5G home internet was the blazing speeds and the reliability.
And then Mike Matheson from Philip Dano at 4:27.
The value that we get with T-Mobile is excellent.
I'll type this in the box.
Firehouse Subs has sweet imagine steak and cheese. Introducing the steak and cheese melt. Plain seared fine bread meets milky provolone. Top slice, toasted twice, extra milky. Because firefighters do things the right way. The steak and cheese melt only at Firehouse Subs.
Jackie Redmond has just talked about a little bit there for Lane Hutson, who was very hard on himself in game one. He felt like everyone else was ready to play except for him. But now you already got a response with the primary assist and the team up 2-0. Here's a good stick away for Alex Tuch and good backhand defense for Montreal to knock that one away, as this was recollected for Arbor Jacki off the one-on-one. This will go back now to Wi-Fi. They'll quickly press across the left side boards and then lose it right into the neutral zone. This is dumped in by Lindy Ruff's squad. Jakub Dobesh certainly wants to play better from game one as well, as this is knocked up in the air in front of Zach Bolduc. Here is a broken stick. Bolduc is the one that lost his twig. And now this could be an opportunity for Buffalo to at least attack on the forecheck. Here's Valeno now. Tries to go ahead and race to negate the icing. Alex Lyon's going to see that. He'll play it near the left side red line. And Buffalo can look to transition in the offensive end. Here's a pass for Matheson. It's a bad one, and this is going to force a tripping call right out in front. So it's going to be a penalty against Montreal, and we'll get things going. I think Alexander Carrier is the one that's going to go to the box because he made a pass, and I'm not sure if it bounced off that broken stick that was on the left side dot. I'll have to take a look at this here. So Matheson's got it. He makes a feed, and he just bounced it off the skate of Alexander Texier, who then was forced to trip. So Alexander Carrier, because you got Texier and Carrier. Alexander Carrier, the defensive man, is the one that's going to go on the box after that pass from Matheson just bounced off his teammate's skate. Power play for Buffalo is 13th. Again, that was out of 16 teams. Again, they're not all active now as you're in the second round. For 11.1%, they're certainly going to want to be better. And Montreal's penalty kill is only about 78%. So two specialty teams that want to make improvement. Benson, Quinn, McLeod, Doan, and Byram on the ice. As this is back around the inboards now for McLeod. Doan try to keep this alive. Try to throw it back to Byram here to Matheson. Already back out there for that missed pass. They'll shoot from 100. It'll hit Alex Lyon. And the first 40 seconds of the opening power play of the game for Buffalo has expired. Shots are 6-3 Canadiens. They have a 2-0 lead. This is a really good press. To the left side blue line again. It's another bad pass. And a bailout. Dobesh makes the save off of Doan. I have to mark that in on the notes. There's been a couple of bad passes here for Montreal. .55 seconds left to go. Buffalo's power play. Rasmus Dahlin trying to set up the 1-T for Tage. And this goes up and out of play. Jason Zucker gets set to take the draw. Tage Thompson trying to provide support in off the tie-up. As this will be Lane Hutson quickly moves the puck out nicely with help of his defensive partner. And Buffalo got to go the length of the ice here for Rasmus Dahlin. A lot of size on this Buffalo defensive core. You got Owen Power, Rasmus Dahlin, Samuelson. You got guys that are big. You got Tuch and then Tage Thompson as well. They're on the ice right now with Norris and Dahlin. So a lot of firepower for Lindy Ruff's squad in this power play. See if they can get something going. 15 seconds left to carry the mail. The offensive zone, here's the drop pass. Now for Tuch. This bounces one-timer off the end boards. Played that like a pull pass. And this was held by Dobson, who's looked pretty good early, as Buffalo is now even the shot board at 6. Caden Gooley got a late cross-check on Rasmus Dahlin after the play that was not called. And now Buffalo can't win this face-off as this is sent back around now for Gooley. And this will be sent into the benches, so we'll have to get another one of these face-offs. 2 seconds left to go at Buffalo's initial power play. We'll add Mr. Genji in here. Again, he's already looked a little bit into this series alongside Alec Novel, who's not calling game 1. And Ian's going to drum me in a little bit for game 2. How are you doing, sir?
Doing good, Mr. Rod. Doing good. Game 1, Buffalo came out firing. This time around, Montreal has decided to rev up the engines first.
Yeah, it certainly seems that way, Ian. And again, I think if we all were in here at the same time, as this is a stick drag and taken away, you'd have to think that this could be a long series because these two teams love to score a ton of goals against each other. It was entertaining in the regular season. Here's a chance in the slot that's blocked before it ever hit Alex Lyon. But I really think this could be a long series, and I'm looking forward to it. Picked up now for Juraj Slafkovsky near the left side boards. And this is recollected now for Doan. This will wrap around, and this is sticked away nicely by Montreal. They denied Benson the opportunity as Norris. We'll try to find it. Wi-Fi has gotten over Jack Eye trying to get out of the zone here as Nick Suzuki needs some help. This is played out in front of the net and just wide as Buffalo had a couple chances to score, but they just can't get out in front of that backline defense of Montreal and Martin Saint-Louis squad. Suzuki being handed in his own end by Benson. And now Dobson with a little bit of a cross-check there as Buffalo goes ahead and finally changes lines. The forwards will do so for Montreal, but it's still Lane Hutson waiting as Montreal has had a little bit of trouble clearing the puck out of their own end of late over the last 5 minutes. You got 8:55 left to go in the first. John Underwood alongside now Ian Genji, who's joined in. Mallenstein try to get this near the left side. This is another steal for Buffalo. This will be sent out across the goal mouth. And now Tage Thompson. And off the back pass, it's Rasmus Dahlin gingerly holding the line power move on his backhand to keep it alive. Hits are 14-4. Chance and tight for a wrister. Dobson makes the initial save, and now Buffalo really providing the pressure. Tuch will get this one across for Peyton Krebs. Tage Thompson, he gets it sticked away. It's a 2-on-1 developing for Montreal. Evans with a pass across, and this one gets deflected. Jake now will try to pick it up, and a big hit. Evans wants a piece of somebody. We'll have to get the number down there for Montreal, who pops back up, and now everybody throwing out some stinky gloves as it's 8:13 left in the first. We're going to get a Canadiens power play, it sounds like, and when I get the initial call, I will relay that to you. So 2-on-1 developed, that got turned away. We'll take a break. Montreal leads this 2-0.
Those who believe that giving everything we've got to
So Alec and I covered the first game, and one thing we both noted, even though they managed to score on it, Buffalo power play is god awful.
That's the one thing you noticed, Ian, to take away?
I mean, it was pretty bad.
Okay.
Outside of the goal, now they did score on the power play, but it was not pretty.
Okay.
Not smooth at all.
That'll be one thing I'll monitor as we go along, because I'll probably get a couple more of these before the series is over. I would go and cover the Flyers and Canes, but I think that one's going to be a sweep, and by the time I get to it, I just don't think I'm going to make it in time, so I'll probably steer away from that second round matchup. But after this last assignment for the MIHL between the Shadow and Kings, I think their season's going to wrap up on Saturday. I'll have one more write-up to do and a video to make for that as far for the league for me. And then that'll free me up here for Stanley Cup playoffs and maybe some NBA stuff the rest of the way. Because if the Pistons do make round 3, probably should make an appointment to cover a couple of those because I don't know how many times that's going to happen. I would feel pretty confident if they played the Knicks, but we'll see what happens if they get there. So for the official recorder side, we'll go ahead and say it here. Rasmus Dahlin looks to be the one in the box for an interference against Hutson. So now Montreal gets to go on the power play for the first time. Both teams have had one. Buffalo was 0 for 1. And again, as Ian told me during the break, their power play leaves a lot to be desired. So that'll be something I'll have to watch during the series. If Montreal scores here and takes a 3-0 lead, maybe you could almost say this game is over, even for Buffalo, as good as they are offensively. But Dobson needs a much better game from game 1. You can't have about 16 saves and then give up 4. Here's Suzuki off the dot. Slafkovsky picks it back up. Makes Suzuki try to get this one across. And this is a really good effort there for Suzuki to try to keep it alive. No, it's kept in. Montreal's got a chance for Caufield, and this will have to be scooped up in the glove of Alex Lyon. That was excellent work to just stick with the play for Nick Suzuki near the right side blue line. He kept it in and created a dangerous chance for his teammate. Kozak going to go ahead and take this draw here for Buffalo. We'll win it straight back, and it'll allow them to clear this one down the ice to Dobson. It'll be the jerseys in white with a mix of the blue pants and the red tops for the Montreal Canadiens that'll go right to left. Again, they already have a 2-0 lead. Hutson, we talked about him in the opening, criticized himself in game 1 the way he played. He's already got a primary and his team's up by 2. Hutson throws this across for Caufield. Now to Lane. At the top of the key, it's Caufield, left side bumper, waiting for a chance. Is Suzuki. Here's a pass across, looking for Slafkovsky in front of the goal crease. And Montreal, they're kept to the outside now. Here's a chance that gets funneled to the right side red line. Puck possession, pace, and Suzuki sets up Hutson for the one-timer. And that one is held on to by Alex Lyon with no screen in front. A lot of late cross checks after the whistle. You normally see a lot of that as Melenstein tried to block the initial chance for Hutson with escape, but Power getting away with a lot of that stuff. Montreal delivering in kind. Anytime you get those shots to the back, it never feels good. And hopefully they add up across the series, which they're hoping. As this is settled back across now for Matheson off the pass. And the shot goes wide into the right side corner. As Doc tries to pry it loose, Buffalo will escape and alleviate some pressure. They're not going to go ahead and clear this one down as a long shot will go wide of Dobson. And now Doc have to start again. Picked up now for Alex Newhook. He opened the scoring. Newhook splits the defense as he gets toward the right side and then gets laid out. Now here for Texier. They'll spin and turn near the left side wall. Texier try to throw it near the dot. This goes back to Matheson. Now for Texier. Texier keeping his head up. Back to Matheson. Shoots deflected off a Lion. And he'll be able to press up and get the steal. Buffalo kills the penalty. Texier off the outside of the cage. Still alive now for Alexander. Now to the right side wall. Here's another chance for Matheson. They'll flip it across ice. And this goes back to Mike. He loses the puck in between his skates. Have to start again. So Martin St. Louis squad will make their changes. They looked very good in this first frame. I've got no complaints. This is a spin move to the left side red line. This will be flipped in now. Here for Montreal as Anderson try to keep this alive off the spin. This will be picked up and behind the cage of Alex Lyon on the backhand. Throws it to the point. It gets deflected. And Alex Lyon makes an initial save. As this is not cleared out by Tuch. Montreal got it again. It was loose out in front, but there's a stick by Bowen Byram that knocks it away at the last moment. Montreal now. Peyton Krebs having some rough time with it. This is settled now for Matheson, who stayed out there as wrister gets deflected. And on the left side boards for Joe Valeno. A couple Montreal players run into each other on accident. Philip Danault now is watching on the left side as he delivers a cross check on Tage Thompson. Valeno now. Alexander Carrier. This is run back around off the referee. Buffalo having some really tough time behind the net. It's stolen by Montreal again. And then a good hit knocks the puck out of the way as Carrier takes a big blast. Settle back down now for Mike Matheson. He's not been able to get off the ice. 4:30 left to go. Finally take an exit as he throws it up across the neutral zone. And now the decor can change. As it's Juraj Slafkovsky. Chip it in. Logan Stanley comes in behind the end boards now. And Danault, excellent work to get the steal into the neutral zone. He was the last man back in defense. As Alex Lyon will have to stop this behind his goal crease. This will be rolling into the neutral zone now. Recollected here for Suzuki. Back now for Caden Gooley. As this will be Suzuki. Here's a fake here for Slafkovsky. Lyon plays it, misplays it now. Thrown out in front to Suzuki. And off the tie-up, he couldn't get around the Buffalo defense. Caden Gooley sees it, throws it on net quickly. Montreal plays the carom. They got another to the right side. Suzuki tried to throw it back to the defensive court. Got good stick chops there for Montreal. Always kills some time. It's a 3-on-2. Buffalo wrister. This is initially blocked, and Dobson clears out the own screen in front as this is settled back around now. Good pace here in this game so far in the last 3:25 of the first. John with you alongside Ian Genji as it's Gooley. Push this pass up. Demidov. First time been able to call his name as this is Samuelson. And behind the own net now. Pick it up now for Doan. Doan is offsides Benson. 3:11 left to go in the first. We'll take a break. Montreal still leads by 2.
A little bit of baseball news, just something something interesting. The Rockies are leading the Philadelphia Phillies 6-0 right now. I mean, it's only the top of the 4th.
Yikes. It's been a rough season for the Phillies.
This is arguably the best season for the Rockies in
a
while.
One news that doesn't help either one of us, Ian, although it's still early in the year, the Guardians have a 4-0 lead on the Twins, courtesy of only 2 hits.
Yeah. You can only not, well, I'm sure you can imagine, but 4-game series, win the first 2 games. Had the third game in a decent hand, and then Cole Reagans leaves in the 4th inning due to elbow soreness, and then our long reliever gives up.
Yeah, and then the other thing I can say here too is, again, it's Tigers Royals today, as they're in Kauffman. Tigers just got absolutely waxed by the Boston Red Sox, but from everything that you told me, it would be typical Royals fashion if it was somehow like 1-0 in the sixth. We'll give you some basketball updates here once we get to the end of the first as well. Showed a picture of the Hutson family, and whoever the brother was on the left side that I'm not familiar with, I don't believe is in the NHL yet. He looked not interested to be in that picture. 30 minutes left to go here in the first as we get back to the official recording side. And turning now for Rasmus Dahlin. I'll pick it up. Alex Line played off the carom. The shot board is 10-7 for Montreal. And I'm not just saying this because they're up by 2 goals. I think they played a pretty perfect first 20 minutes. I've had zero complaints about everything that they've done. This initial shot does not hit Dobson. And there's been a lot of times where they forced Buffalo into some steals. Buffalo did acquiesce in the last about 3 minutes or so. Didn't score and put some pressure on Montreal. I think they've played a good road game so far in efforts to try to get back and tie this series. This will be iced against Martin Saint-Louis' squad. Jordan Greenway getting tied up a little bit with Arbor Jackeye, and then now having some words with the bench before we get a chance as he got sprayed with the Montreal Canadiens water bottle on the other side. So Jackeye and Greenway going to go ahead and talk with each other during the warm-up. And then Greenway, again, who had one of his best games, I believe, in Game 1. A lot of people weren't familiar that he was able to play that way. I don't think Greenway was either. And then they just showing him getting a little spicy in front of the Montreal bench. Face-off 1 for Samuelson, but he can't hold the line. And Buffalo's going to start again into the neutral zone as this will be knocked away by Tuch. Then back around up for Alex Line. Another pass is picked off. And behind the net for Montreal, this is going to give them possession. Daniel looking for a tip in front. And this one was saved off the stick of Josh Anderson. And now recollected in off the end boards. Maybe a race for it. You got Tuch there with Matheson on the back skate for Montreal. And this never hit Buffalo here. Montreal looking to escape near the right side boards. Another late hit, but already an icing. At 1:40 left to go in the first. Getting some camera shots of both benches here before we get this face-off started again. And there was a lot of extra talk now between Texier and the rest of the bench. Montreal is really going over to the Buffalo bench and trying to give them some words, as Greenway was doing as well on the opposite end for Buffalo to Montreal. And these two rivals in the Atlantic are certainly trying to give as good as they get. And again, it's hard to believe that the Canadiens are able to win Game 7 against the Tampa Bay Lightning, only having 9 shots on goal. But that's how it ended up working out. Slafkovsky had some good games and some not so good games. And at the end of his comments as well, he said his team made too many excuses. They should have won that series. Again, it's also predominant on his play, but a lot of other things too. As McLeod sets this one up for a 1-team for his teammate. And this will be chipped in the end boards now and then off sides at 109 as the puck goes up and out of play. A lot of stoppages here late. Apologize for that as this game is starting to slow down a little bit toward the end of this first. So tomorrow I got the MHL starting about 7:15. In between the Kings and Shadow, got to cover that from home, one more write-up. And then next week, I think probably about Sunday, Monday, once I get some of that stuff and the publications done and the video made, I'll make the schedule up for you to cover it next week. 1 minute left to go in the first. The hits are 19-8. Slafkovsky try to get a steal. Puck gets away in time and this will be rolled ahead for Buffalo. They don't have numbers here. This is to be canceled off near the right side boards and then wide. Picked up now for Montreal, and Slafkovsky with his head up. Chip this in the corner now for Suzuki. Suzuki back around for Slaf. See if he can keep this one alive as it's put in behind the inboards now. Slafkovsky on his forehand. It was near the right side boards. They'll pivot near that opposite blue line. Offhand shove. Try to keep it alive now. Finally intercepted by Doan. And then a rolling puck at the line. We'll knock this one down. Here's Doan trying to find it in between his skates. It's knocked away by the goal stick of Dobson. Slafkovsky with a chip. And this will just get up to the neutral zone as someone got hit up toward the face. This will be a penalty against Buffalo with 10 seconds left to go in the first. Looks like Josh Anderson might have taken a hit up high. So interference call against Doan. And it's going to be a Montreal power play that will certainly carry over unless they score within this last 10 seconds. Trying to see if I can find it now. A little bit of a pick play, maybe? Toward the right side of Suzuki? No, that's not what was called. It was the next portion of Doan with a big-time interference against Noah Dobson, number 53, who's on the third line nowadays after just coming back from injury. So Montreal will get their second power play. Buffalo didn't score on their initial.
Second power play of the period for Montreal.
So Josh Doan with the interference. Montreal wins it clean. Hutson now to the right side dot. One-timer set up. Lyon makes the save. It's loose, but the whistle was blown dead. I guess the referees lost sight of the puck. It's loose. That was bad luck there for Montreal. But I think maybe Alex Lyon's goal mask might have got dislodged. We'll see. He got bumped by his own teammate, and I think it took the strap off, and that's what blew the play dead. Connor Timmins might have actually probably stopped the goal because Alex Lyon got bumped by his own teammate, and that forced the referees to blow the play dead because his mask got a little messed up. Otherwise, that was loose in front. Philip Danault, one last draw. And off the top, quick chance. This was saved by Hutson from Lyon, and that will end the first. Shot board is 11-8 Montreal. They got power play carryover time. Alex Lyon, I think, got acclimated toward the end of that first, but Montreal had a perfect 20 minutes. If they find a way to score another one on the power play here, we'll see what we get, but they got a 2-0 lead after one.
So Vasilevsky took the high road and took accountability, but if you look back at that game 7 and look at the goals that Montreal scored off those 9 shots, I don't see how you can place all the blame on Vasilevsky if you look at those goals.
There's some pinball ones I saw.
Yeah, the first goal redirected off the stick of one of the Montreal players, then gets redirected again off the stick of his own player.
Yeah.
And that one went in. And then the second, a game-winning goal, he deflects the first shot. It bounces up in the air with no high stick. The new hook bats it down. It bounces off Vasilevsky's knee pad, then bounces off his backside into the goal. All I can say is that the Montreal Canadiens with 9 shots on goal had Deus Ex Machina on their side.
Yeah, they must have. Dobson had a strong game because the Lightning, from what I saw, were just funneling shots at him. He had a big time to have a good game. That's what they absolutely needed, and that's what they got from him.
Yeah.
So give you the stats after one. Montreal leads the shot board 12-8. Hits are substantially in favor of the Sabres, 20-9. Face-offs 15-6 for Montreal. If Montreal doesn't score off this carryover in the power play, they'd be 0 for 2. Buffalo 0 for 1. Goals from Alex Newhook and Mike Matheson. Not even in 4 minutes and 30 seconds of the period, it was already 2-0 Canadiens. And again, as I talked about, lots of steals. They're kind of forcing the pace of play. I think they're playing well. Doan got denied in the slot for Buffalo. That was one of their better chances. There was a pressure of about 2.5 minutes toward the last 6 for Buffalo that kind of kept Montreal having in their zone. But for the most part, that was a good 20 minutes for the Canadiens. We'll see if they can even up the series. I do think this has the potential to at least go 6. Both of these teams gave as good as they got in the regular season. I like what their makeup is, and I will be honest. Obviously, I think they're going to play the Carolina Hurricanes in the 3rd round. That kind of seems like a given at this point, considering the opponent is the Flyers. But I don't think even the Carolina Hurricanes, they'll probably go to the Stanley Cup Finals too, but I don't think it's going to be easy business whether they play Buffalo or Montreal. That should be a decent series, but this one is the one I'm looking forward to the most.
I agree. Just what Carolina is doing to Philadelphia, I mean, oh man, if there is ever a year that Carolina has to win the Stanley Cup,
I agree, Ian.
It's this season. I mean, you have the scoring, you have the defense. Freddie Anderson went from overcooked like a hockey puck to prime Freddie Anderson elite. I mean, if this is not, and not to mention you got Brandon Fussy waiting in the wings should something go wrong. If there is
right
ever a year for the Hurricanes to do it, it's this season.
It is, and I know you're not speaking this into existence. I'm going to say it here for you. I think they have to make the Stanley Cup Finals. I don't think they have a choice. I can't tell you honestly, I would pick them to beat the Colorado Avalanche should the Avalanche make it out, but I do think they have to make the Stanley Cup Finals.
Colorado right now just looks otherworldly. They are the clear favorites to win the Stanley Cup. Truthfully, whether it be Carolina, Buffalo, or Montreal, I don't see.
No.
I don't see any of them beating Colorado. It would be an upset.
It would, and I don't think, like you said, if any of those teams in the East or whoever comes out should lose to Colorado, I don't think there would be any shame at all. And I will say this for Minnesota. Yes, they're down 0-2 in the series. They didn't have to play Game 3 until Saturday. They've had plenty of time. I think if Minnesota wasn't playing against Colorado, let's say Colorado was knocked out, I think Minnesota could have made it to the Stanley Cup Finals.
Oh, definitely. I mean, with what we saw, though, Minnesota, they have on paper, they have the talent to go up against this Avalanche team. It's just a matter of finding the chink in the armor. They came very close game 1.
Yeah, when you score 6 goals, you feel like you are close, and then you're not expecting to give up 9, but you're right. I'm going to go grab some water. I'll be right back, and then we'll do some NBA updates and go across. Keep him on the wall so it's a better angle. Now, obviously, Ruff's not happy with that. He brings up the crowd line. And watch this. Now it's that inside right where they're going. Another great hit. It's that split second where it's hard for him to get out now. He doesn't close off, doesn't get in his way. Matheson's able to
inside and get that perfect shot. And hey, Ryan obviously can't track this. And how do you feel about his angle?
Well, he's so off angle, and you can also see he start backing up pretty quickly to try to find the puck. And we just talked about this going into the game, how much harder it is during the playoffs to track these shots, passes down, because they're more traffic. So he's on top of the crease, kind of looking for the puck. He loses track of it, starts sliding back a little bit, also a little too much to his left, opens up the short side. But again, the tracking from the passing and the shooting is a huge part in this game. Goaltenders, one of the biggest challenges, I think, during the playoffs.
Goes to from the value of having that to know too. Typically, he's getting deployed in the defensive zone, he's defensive forward. So winning that face-off, snapping it back with such force, that made it hard for Buffalo Sabres to get out there. That puck is almost a 50-50 puck. I think Quinn has a chance to get out there and get in that shooting lane. It came back so fast. There's no way that Buffalo Sabres scored from getting that lane. And I think they had it right the first time with how quick that was run back and how mobile both decors are unbelievable. But specifically Montreal in this case, sending that outside guy to get across is the way to go. You can't pick them on the inside, as you saw Texas did. So it just gave him that split second enough to get more to the middle, and he could get that farther angle, and it's all the difference in the world.
Got a great year for the Buffalo Sabres. And we saw it in the first goal, and you want to quiet the place down as well.
So we'll take a look here very quickly at the NBA scoreboard. See what we got going on tonight. San Antonio, Minnesota, going to be the late game. That one on Prime. Philadelphia down 2-0 in this series. And with 6:36 left to go, obviously the next game is also on Prime as well. 44-38, they just hit a three. It is balanced scoring for the Knicks. Landry Shamet actually leads all scorers with 9 off the bench. That is a surprise. Paul George has 15. Joel Embiid is playing in this game. He's only got 5 on 2 of 6. So, again, I'll be honest and forthright. Whether it is the Knicks or the Philadelphia 76ers, should the Pistons advance, I feel they're going to have an easier time in the third round than anything with the Cavs, and they're already up 2-0 there. They survived the Magic. I'm not openly concerned about the Knicks this year. So, if that is the matchup, I will take it happily, I think.
Man, it seems to me that this NBA postseason, it's not the games on the court that are filling up the news cycle. It's everything happening outside of it.
What you got for me? Anything big?
Well, I mean, take your pick. Jaylen Brown crashing out on the live stream after the Celtics lost the series to the 76ers, or just recently Draymond Green on Inside the NBA talking smack to Charles Barkley, somehow insinuating that he's a better player, for his career than Charles was.
I'm going to go ahead and look at this for Jaylen Brown first because I can address the other one that I saw it. But for the first time in 5 years, the Celtics have gone one and done, and Brown is frustrated. I talked to Jaylen Monday. It's nothing but positive. He's expressed those frustrations to me. That's what Brad Stevens is saying. Obviously, that's window dressing. Clips from Brown's stream spread like wildfire, and McGrady's cryptic remarks only stoke these flames. His frustration lies deeply in the organization that we don't have the details to discuss. There's been a lot of stuff that I've been hearing. Let's see, on X. A lot of stuff I've been hearing just going on at the Boston organization with JB. That's what Tracy McGrady and Vince Carter are talking about. Those are 2 guys I really respect. So that's a little unnerving if you're Jaylen Brown.
Because apparently he was trying to throw the referees under the bus.
That's never good.
For not getting the same calls as the 76ers, even pointing out specific push-offs or something. I'm like, buddy, you lost.
Yeah, you're up 3-1 and you lost. Right.
This is the part where you lose the dignity, you say good series, and you look to next year. I mean,
not going to get an argument with me there, Ian, especially for a superstar and an NBA champion that he is. And you don't have Jason Tatum, so I mean you're sitting there looking in the suit, and you're up 3-1, and you don't win that series. That's all on Boston. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And you're the man now.
Right.
Jason's out. You are the guy with Supermax.
I have no argument for that. As far as Draymond Green, some people might expect me to throw the cape on for him and be the ultimate defender with a shield because he's from Michigan. Even though I'm a Michigan guy in East State, I couldn't care less. But for him to even say anything to Charles Barkley, and I know I saw Nick Wright point out the stats or anything like that, he goes, "Man, if I ever played like you in Houston, blah, blah, blah." First off, in Charles' defense, again, however old he was at that point, it's 1999, well past his prime, he still averaged, like 15, 16 points with the Rockets and almost had like double-digit rebounds. Draymond Green's never done that in his career during his best seasons.
Yeah, it's the absolute gall that he has. And Charles, I could be wrong, but I believe it was Floyd. He was quoted as saying, "You are one of the luckiest players."
Yeah.
You are very lucky in your career, James, to have ended up where you are. And he's right. Because on any other team, Draymond is seen as nothing more than another dirty player.
Yes.
No, my dad and I talk about it a lot because Draymond's in the headlines all the time. Just, he would not, because modern Warrior fans would love to say, "Oh, he's a 90s throwback." No, he's not. He's a modern-day dirty player masquerading as something from the 90s, but he is not. And I know for a fact that you can speak to that because you watched the Bad Boy Pistons. You saw Dennis Rodman and Bill Laimbeer. And whatever flaws Bill Laimbeer may have had, because I've seen the games against the Celtics, I know what he used to do. He at least, that was his role. But you're not Warriors fans comparing him to Rodman?
Hell no. Dennis Rodman is one of the best rebounders and defenders the league has ever seen. He would get destroyed. He would destroy Draymond Green.
It just, the stories that my dad would tell me. Now, I don't know anything about Pistons Rodman, but my dad, he grew up in Chicago, when the Bulls were doing their thing.
Mm-hmm.
He paid attention even though he was at grad school. But, one of the stories he heard about Rodman was, there was one year, after, I don't know who they just played or what, but Rodman, Kerr, and someone else took a trip down to Atlantic City.
Yes.
Rodman needed to blow off steam.
Yes.
Of course, Michael being Michael, was went to Phil Jackson, and Phil's like, "Okay, everyone get up. We're doing wind sprints around the arena, or around the complex, or whatever it was." Rodman outpaced all of them. He outpaced all of them, and it was at that moment Michael Jordan said, "Okay, yeah, just let Dennis be Dennis."
Yeah, exactly. And keep in mind that he's doing all this when he's out there partying, drinking, gambling, marrying Madonna, putting on wedding dresses, and then spending time with Carmen Electra, and then getting up the next night and then outpacing everybody. So, yeah, Dennis Rodman was definitely one of a kind. And the one thing I loved when he was in Detroit before all of that turn, and again, his documentary and everything else was great. When he won the Defensive Player of the Year award and how sincere he was, and he had all this stuff there with Chuck Daly before he passed and the father mentor. There was a lot of stuff going on in Dennis's life, but for Draymond to even throw any shade at Charles Barkley to come back to that point is absolutely ridiculous. They're just ridiculous. Just because Charles doesn't have rings, and I understand, Shaq will do that. That's all in jest and fun. But Draymond was trying to get a little personal. I don't care if Charles never got any rings. He was still way better than a lot of the players that even have one. They're going through some of the inside audio here for the Sabres. I think, really honestly, I say that openly. I'm glad they mentioned it during Biz and all those guys in the intermission. This was not a good period for Buffalo. They need to bounce back in a big way. So Josh Doan in the box for another minute 51 as we're underway. Montreal up 2-0 already. They score here. They're going to be great standing. As it's Suzuki with a windmill. Off the drop, try to lead for Demidov. Again, pretty much out there for that power play time. Good chance. Slafkovsky off the back pass trying to get creative. Did a little too much there. Slafkovsky now picks it up across the right side boards, though. Throws it back. Now there's a glove that is dislodged. Somebody got hit in the hand on Montreal, so they're going to play a man down on this power play right now until they can get a change. Picked up now near the left side. Someone got hooked near the hand. This is Hutson on the high slot. Lane will get it back from Slaf. Near the left side boards. Bolduc now will be the extra. As it's Hutson with a one-timer. That one hurt a little bit. Zucker doesn't move. It's picked up now for Hutson in the high slot. Slafkovsky near the right bumper. As this will be taken away. Suzuki now. Now for Hutson in the high slot. Hutson looking for a lane. Montreal being kept on the outside. They got to get a screen in front. They got nothing there, and there's nothing to obscure the vision of Lion. Still working near the left side red line. Suzuki. Caufield now trying to provide a ginger screen at least. Here's a wrister. Another block there from McLeod. Picked back around by Caufield. This is kept on the left side blue line now. Hutson, Slafkovsky, they'll crisscross. This will be dropped for Dobson and then taken out of the zone. Nothing there for Montreal. Didn't even really shoot the puck. Picked up now toward the right side board. Slafkovsky at the net looking for a tip. That one goes wide and out of the zone. So Doan out of the box. No shots on goal. And now have to hold is Dovesh, as this is a good forecheck there for Buffalo. And they will get an ozone draw out of this. Face-off win for the Canadiens. We'll push this one up the ice. Anderson can't find it. Excellent pass for Tuch. Transition from right to left. You got the jerseys in blue in the mix of the gold striping. I love that Buffalo logo with the two swords. That's one of the better ones that we got in the league. It's been a long time since they've been in the playoffs. This is a preeminent matchup. The hooking call I thought might have been, we got a hand in the air. So Buffalo going to go to the power play as soon as the Canadiens touch, unless they score here. Owen Power, the Michigan man, will throw this one across and get it back near the right side. Patient pass looking for Dahlin. Will play it off the left side red line. Working behind the net now is Alex Tuch, the former Vegas Golden Knight. Here's a long chance for Krabs. The rebound's loose. Montreal touches. And now Buffalo has a chance on the power play. Hooking call against Montreal. Carrier going to go to the box. This will be a rip back across the inboards. Jackie Redmond's actually interviewing Rob Gronkowski, who's in the building at the KeyBank Center. He's always the life of the party. Again, doesn't really spend any of that salary money. It's just the endorsement stuff. He's a very smart man. As this one's picked up now near the left side boards, even though he is a party animal. A lot more smarter than you think you can give him credit for. As it's picked up now near the left side boards. This will be Tuch trying to work his way. It's be a little half and half screens. It's going to be a little more challenging to follow these numbers. As this is now near the right side red line. Pick back up now, Bowen Byram. We'll try to get to the front of the net. A slap shot is a broken twig, and this will work out for Montreal. And they might have something up the gut here. Picked up now for Lyon, who'll be forced to play this with a glove hand. Quickly transition the other way. Bowen Byram, the former Av. Power move out the backhand after spin and turn. We'll loop this in the corner. It gets canceled off. And now this will be recollected near the left side dot. Buffalo looking for a lane near the left side red line as it's patiently kept on the outside. There is more traffic at the net now. Dahlin delayed pass one-timer. This one hits Dobson and played it off the window. One more one-timer there, and Dobson will hold toward the right side post. We'll do this face-off again as Buffalo's second power play got 37 seconds left to go in it. 15:54 left to go in the second. Draw. I'm your play-by-play man. Alongside Ian Gamgee, we got the early game here for you. Between a game two of Montreal and Buffalo. Been covering a lot of game twos this week. And then we'll figure out what's going to go on next week. I'll try to send another message out to Cooper Hopkins. See if he can join into a duos broadcast. It's certainly been a while. Got to catch up with him. This will be recollected now for Josh Norris. And then sent back down for Montreal. Shot board still 14-9, so you think they have this game right where they want it at this point. Still tons of time. We're not even at the halfway mark of regulation yet. But you like the way that Montreal has responded in this game too. Big hit and behind the net will dislodge player from puck as Evans pushes across and score! Don't know if that was shorthanded or not, but right on the edge of it, Evans leads a 2-on-1 with Alex Newhook. He's got his second of the game, and Montreal's got a 3-0 lead.
So, did you see what Alec and I were saying about the Sabres power play?
I did. There was a couple one-timers there that were pretty good. Most of them were blocked, and then nobody was back in. On the other end, as Evans lost his pass away from Norris, and he's got inside-out positioning on Rasmus Dahlin, and that's an easy finish for Alex Newhook. No chance for Alex Lyon. $14:35 left to go in the second, and as they announce the latest Montreal goal, and from Evans, who's got the primary for Alex Newhook, the chorus of boos happens as we get a whistle in behind the play at 14:27. And Buffalo might be coming a little bit unglued. We'll see who gets it, but I didn't see the camera cut here for anything for the latest call. Maybe a slash will be the call. Arbor Jackeye looks like he's going to go to the box. So this will be the third power play opportunity for Buffalo. Let me scroll down really quickly to see if that was on the tail end shorthanded or not. I think it just expired. So Alex Newhook has two in this game. Jake Evans, Noah Dobson is the one that I mentioned the hit before at 4:47. he took that hit to be able to get that pass out. And that's what allowed Jake Evans to race across the left wing. And then that sauce pass was great, but it was really Rasmus Dahlin, in my opinion, who got beat toward the right side post. Allowed Newhook to get inside positioning and score. It's his first career multi-playoff goal game. And you know what it is for me, the former Stanley Cup champion of the Colorado Avalanche, finally starting to find some offense here. We already know about his elite speed and defensive abilities. But if he can be another one of those guys that continues to add depth here for Montreal, that's another one of those reasons, like I said, if Dobson continues to improve, and again, I wouldn't dare say that they would go to Jacob Fowler because he's a rookie and Sam Montembeault has been more toward an 860 save percentage, but I definitely give Buffalo chances, and I know some will blush at this, but to win Stanley Cups in the future, not just to coexist here in the later rounds. They are that good. Ken Hughes is a good general manager. As this is recollected now for Tage Thompson. Buffalo needs this next goal. They're down 3-0. Sharp angle chance goes up the outside of the cage, and Rasmus Dahlin takes a hit. It's Tuch near the left side dot. Tuch here for Tage Thompson. Thompson now. One-timer Dahlin, it's loose, and then not picked up by Josh Norris, the Oxford, Michigan native. Back to Dahlin. He'll backskate. Rister. This one deflected off the blocker of Dobson. And now Norris try to keep it alive. Excellent work from Montreal as this gets rimmed in around the inboards. It stays in. Tage Thompson gets some help. Thompson can't get his wrist shot off, and this will get cleared back down the ice. 30 seconds left to go in the Buffalo power play, and I think I'm starting to hear some boos from the restless fans. 15-13 on the shot board. Montreal just added another. Alex Newhook got his second. Here is Byram. Push this one, and McLeod takes a hit to make a play. As it's sent back on the inboards now, Byram sends it across, and that pass goes wanting. It's out of the zone. Buffalo's got to check up again. They're going to go 0 for 3 now on the power play. It's going Byram. And across the Sabres logo, finds the entry, lofted into the right side corner. It is Doan who takes a hit. Montreal kills another one. And it's 15-14 on the shot board. Buffalo trying to get closer there. But Montreal's got the first 3 goals of the game. Dobson off the pinch. It's good to see him pop back up after taking that huge hit. As this is knocked away from Byram. Dobson now off the waft. We'll get this one down the ice. A rolling vulcanized rubber. Owen Power. He gets hit by Jack Eye. This one we put in the corner now. Rimmed around the inboards now. Timmins will try to get it out. Recollected here from Montreal. Montreal to spin and turn in Suzuki now. And off the right side of the skates. Recollected. Slafkovsky. Very dangerous all the time. As this is picked up now. Bounces off a couple of skate blades. And Buffalo way off sides at 11:35. So Newhook from Evans and Noah Dobson is the latest.
And we're proud to continue that tradition with care that's personal and nationally recognized. From routine care to advanced procedures, we bring state-of-the-art treatment close to home, all designed with you in mind. New building, expanded services, same commitment to this community. Trinity Health, we see everything.
We all fall into your hands until we choose something better.
It's the latest update there as it's 3-0 Montreal through the YouTube box.
This weekend, don't just go out, go up.
Halftime, it is Knicks up by 8, 60-52 on the Sixers. San Antonio, Minnesota, that series even at a game apiece. They'll be playing in Minnesota about 9:45 tip-off. And the same thing for Vegas and Anaheim in the Honda Center. I'll be interested if when Ian comes back to get his thoughts on that series, who he thinks will advance. I have an idea of who I think will advance in that one. Let's get back underneath the action again. 11:25 left to go in the second. It is all Montreal in this game right now as it's picked up near the left side of the red line. Buffalo in desperation. They need to be right now just outside the halfway mark of regulation. 11:10 left. Thompson on his backhand. He is just so much taller than everybody else at 6'6". When he's standing near Nick Suzuki, he looks like a redwood tree. This is a long flip that will work out for Martin Saint-Louis squad into neutral. Tuch. Far move toward the backhand, trying to go short side against Dobson, but that canceled off nicely. Buffalo being very physical in this game. That's the only thing they've won as far as the hits, but they're down heavily on that scoreboard. Owen Power with a stick chop just keeps it in. This is rim behind toward the goal line. Dobson got to fight it off with the goal stick, and Mike Matheson on his backhand. About to spin and turn as it's Peyton Krebs. We'll go ahead and get a steal. Samuelson, it's stolen, but down to a knee, forces a trip, and Montreal goes to the power play. Suzuki was going to have a clean breakaway on Alex Lyon, but I think Peyton Krebs might be the guilty party. He's got the camera shot here. We'll see what we get, but definitely Suzuki was the one that got tripped. He would have been all alone against Alex Lyon. So Matthias Samuelson, the defenseman, will get the official call. And it will be another power play here for Montreal. That one is at 9:36. So the third penalty for Buffalo. It's 3 power plays across the board. Nobody has scored yet. This is the third attempt officially upcoming for Montreal. So Darren Pang said if they finish this up, it'd be a rusty dagger into this game. Really, that's kind of the way you got to think about it. You can have your tetanus shots and the like. You're definitely going to get sick, and you're not going to feel good. As Jordan Greenway, I'll flip this one back. And off the face-off one in Buffalo, ended up going into the bench. So we're going to have to do this again as it gets deflected. So just 4 seconds expired in the third power play opportunity for Montreal. And they had a camera shot behind someone, Lindy Ruff, who was on an orange flip phone. I don't think you can go ahead and get some Grubhub or anything like that on that type of phone. But really not much to do right now. Demidov with a wrister as this one goes up and out of play. Or I shouldn't say out of play, off the glove hand. As it's 1:40 left to go in Montreal's power play, the third opportunity. Hutson send this one across. Suzuki now, Caufield. Nick Suzuki got the puck in the left side down, looking for Cole Caufield, a combination for Slafkovsky, and that one blocked. Slafkovsky now. Excellent skate to stick there for Suzuki. Starts this one for Cole toward the left side dot. They'll exchange sides. Down to the left side rail and Suzuki. Slafkovsky, great spot to shoot, looking for a deflection. This goes off the blade of Suzuki, stopped by Lyon. Nick's got it now. Worked his way to the left side, goes off a Lyon. And back in behind the net. Montreal holds it in. It's Hutson, the Slaf. Now to the left side dot. Matheson had it for a moment. Hutson was providing a screen out in front of the middle, looking for a skate to state deflection. As it's picked up middle, a slot backhand opportunity is not converted by Caufield. Couldn't get the shot off, and then a one-timer for Demidov. He missed it near the right side post. Recollected by Montreal. They've got all sorts of possession here on this power play. 30 seconds left to go in the third man advantage. Slap pass from Slafkovsky in the middle of the slot. This goes back to Slafkovsky near the right dot now. Here's a chance for Suzuki. They'll change toward the right dot. Looking at a chance off the bumper here. Suzuki picks it up near the right dot. He'll recollect off the glass. Down to 10 seconds. Here's Caufield. He'll work behind the net now. Near the left side dot, Slafkovsky. Back to Nick Suzuki. Chance near the left side dot. This goes up the left pad of Lion, but not across the red line. Here's another chance. Samuelson will get out of the box. Demidov in between his skates as Buffalo returns to full strength, but the puck's not out. Demidov forces a steal. Slafkovsky as this works behind the net. Slap will take a wrister off the outside of the post as this is picked up now. Back in behind the inboards here. Very physical play for Buffalo, but it's still not out. A lot of tired bodies here. Kirby Doc. Martin San Luis squad gets to go ahead and take a change. Back out at the point. Montreal sent toward the net. This one wide. Dobson takes the hit to make a play. Back out at the point again. Montreal very patient. Matheson, excellent work to avoid the hit. Now near the right side dot. About 2 minutes of full puck possession here for Montreal in the offensive zone. Here's a chance now for Dobson. Rister fought off by Lyon. Greenway and Krebs finally get it out. My goodness. As we'll get a whistle near the bench. 7:21 left to go in the second. As there was a lot of gas Buffalo players. They don't concede on the latest power play for Montreal, but that was pretty much practice as we go to break.
Where a major breakthrough leads the morning call. Where heart, soul, and science come together. This is what we live for. Because this is where we live. We are Henry. Excuse me. Do I know you? Calling out the Royal Suite. When we hit the pothole, I was worried we'd be stranded for hours. The pothole. Ski.
I was joking a little bit, but not really. In between the Tigers and Royals and what the score would be, maybe like a 1-0 or something in the sixth. Right now we're bottom 4 and the Royals are at the bat rack and it's 1-1.
This Royals offense was so hot just a few games ago, and now it's back to being putrid.
Whatever it is, when they play the Tigers and the Tigers play the Royals, both those teams just can't score runs.
Apparently so, because good Lord, John, this is just.
And you could argue, I mean, the Royals need a sweep and so do the Tigers, because after, like I said, they got smoked by the Red Sox. And then you have your triple-A manager, the Mud Hens, getting fired, and all the other injuries. There's a lot going on in Detroit. And you mentioned to me Framber Valdez the other day. I didn't know the circumstances until after that one was over when he started throwing at guys and giving up 1 million runs. Because before that, it's been a good signing. But if you get the Framber Valdez meltdown mode, I don't need any of that stuff here. Just get back to pitching and stop tipping your pitches. 7 minutes left to go here in the second as it's picked up by Montreal after the D-zone draw win. Be knocked away from Texier back to Mike Matheson. This will be kissed off the glass. There's a rolling puck. An opportunity off the drop pass. Rister Dobesh will fight it off. It is 17-15 on the shot board in favor of Montreal, and they're up by 3 goals. Alex Newhook has the only one of the second so far, as both teams have gone 0 for 3 on the power play. This will be curled in off the backhand. It'll be a chip and chase now for Philip Danault. He's essentially done nothing offensively in the regular season and the playoffs, but he's still back to where he's comfortable providing defensive effort and winning draws. Here is a wrister from Dobson. This will be held by a Lion with no screen. It'll get an ozone draw for Montreal. So as I said, Vegas, Anaheim about 9:45, and then it'll be a Saturday early start, 6:15, in between the Canes and Flyers. The Wild and the Avalanche will get going on that still about 9:15 on Saturday. I'll definitely be watching that late one. Jake Evans will get set to take this draw. Now, again, I'll be honest with you. I love covering these Stanley Cup playoffs and all these things. These games kind of fly by for most of the time, but this has been on-set domination. And the way that I've watched this game, and again, it's just MIHL Senior A hockey in the Michigan Independence Hockey League and the league that I cover between the Sharks and everything else. But I've seen those games be more entertaining than this. I haven't seen any pushback from the Buffalo Sabres here. And I know you can say maybe you're not as disappointed because they finally made the playoffs and they won a round, but you cannot bring this type of game back into Montreal. You're going to have to find an effort that is probably 3 levels above this because it's not good enough. 5:55 left to go in the third as this is stolen by Jake Evans. Behind the end boards now for Rasmus Dahlin, but as I've said with Montreal, I always give them tons of credit. I love this team across the board, with the exception of trying to get more goaltending depth at some point. That's not Dovish's fault. You can only learn on the fly. But if they can improve and get stuff done, then they really have a chance to be extremely dangerous, even for a team like Carolina. I do think Carolina would beat them this year, but going forward, who knows? Again, that's how good these two teams can be between Montreal and Buffalo, but especially Montreal, in my opinion. Here's a hook away from the play, and Martin St-Louis not happy. Somebody jumped off the bench and did something, and Martin St-Louis saying, hey, you can't call whatever you're going to call, as the gum in his mouth almost went flying at the same time. We're going to have to get our clarification here. I'll pull this up on the ESPN box. So this will be not updated yet, but I think this is going to be a power play for Buffalo. 5:22 left. We'll sort it out when we come back.
Let's be honest. If you don't choose the right pick, how much respect about this one? The wrong choice. That's why we made Raider Dynasty. One foot coverage, everyday low price. It's everything you've always wanted in a paint. Go with Bear. Now get 10% off when you buy 3 or more gallons. Exclusively at the Home Depot.
I think they are specifically not putting out the link for tomorrow's game yet, so I don't link it out first. Because otherwise the Michigan Shadow or Go Live side will probably share my link first and take away from Go Live, is my guess. So we'll just have to do it a couple hours probably before puck drop, which is unfortunate. I kind of like to have everything out a day before so everybody knows where the link is. Too many men on the ice against Montreal. Demidov will serve it at 14:38. And when we come back from commercial break, we'll call more. Three penalties by Montreal in this second. It is Buffalo's 4th power play of the game upcoming.
Firehouse Subs has reimagined the steak and cheese. Introducing the steak and cheese melt. Flame seared prime rib meets melty provolone. Top slice, toasted twice, and extra melty. Because firefighters do things the right way. The steak and cheese melt only at Firehouse Subs.
Both skates are gone off on the top side before Vallejo comes in and gets involved in the play right here. And that's why the call was waiting for the
So Buffalo gets their 4th power play. Rasmus Dahlin Here's this one saved off of Dobish and then flipped back down. He let that go from the left side blue line. Alex Lyon will stop this and amongst the goal crease. Can't really blame Lyon too much. Probably one save he should have had off the wrister from Matheson, but that was about it. As it's Josh Norris off the drop pass. This would be circumvented and Tage Thompson out of Rasmus Dahlin. Dahlin trying to keep his head up. Near the right side dot. Thompson wide open near that left dot. He's got a hellacious one-timer, well over 100 miles an hour. Here's a one-timer for Norris. And this shot is blocked. It's blocked by Newhook. Picked up for Dahlin. Dahlin quick wrister. Tage Thompson gets a recollect. Near the left circle. Thompson try to work his way now to a partial screen. He'll just switching across the bumper. He's got enough for a sharp angle one-timer. He missed it badly. And this goes all the way down as a full sail clear. So that is way too steep of an angle. And we'll go ahead and take this again now for Tuch. Find the entry off the drop. Picked up now for Jason Zucker. Put in behind the inboards. As this will be wristed off the back pass here for Zucker. And now Tuch tries to find it. Anderson will clear it down the ice. Buffalo's power play is not doing much of anything here. 30 seconds left to go in their fourth opportunity for a man advantage. And they're just not getting anybody involved. Here's a chance now off the drop. This pass is missed and picked up now. Zucker, crisscross. And the crowd is getting very impatient. They want these guys to shoot this puck at the net. Power was out there for a moment. Benson got in behind the net. Still looking for a lane to do anything. Here's a sharp angle chance. Doesn't even hit Dobish. It's picked up now near the left side. Dano pries it loose. And Montreal gets it out. Buffalo goes 0 for 4. They get one shot on the power play, and the chorus of boos rains down. 3:10 left to go in the second. Bowen Byram now off the drop. Go ahead and race now the other way. Peyton Krebs try to throw it out in front. Here's a rolling puck. Stick chopped a couple of times. And now rimmed in behind the inboards near the left side dot. This will be Krebs with a long wrister. Will force Dobish to hold. And then Buffalo players got close to him. And Matheson takes exception. And now they're rolling around on top of each other. Throwing some smelly gloves. Zach Bolduc now in a tie-up as he's getting hit with a couple of gloves. And we'll see if anyone is near. Benson is down. He is holding his head near the left side as he got a big-time snow shower. Couldn't see what was underneath Benson there because players were just all over themselves after that long initial shot. We'll sort that out when we get some other camera shots. Benson wants some words with Dobish, and then Dahlin comes over as well. Maybe Jakob, as those guys were getting a little too close to his crease, he gave a little what for to Benson, and he didn't like that. 2:56 left to go in this middle frame. So Krebs takes a shot that is deflected, and then Benson down, and Dobish, yeah, he was getting double teamed there for Matheson, and Dobish was Benson. And he didn't like that. He was getting punched in toward the face. Maybe a blocker punch from what I saw. All that's going to be is offsetting 4-on-4. So 2:45 left to go in the second, 4-on-4 for 1:50. Montreal got a 3-0 lead, and they're in complete control of this game. Noah Dobson. To the left side, it's turned over. See what can happen here for Owen Power. They'll lead this off the rush. Elect for the drop pass instead. Working the high slot. McLeod take a wrister. This goes up the stick of Dobson. Slafkovsky calmly throw this back into his own end. And this is a one-on-one. And it's Alex Lyon who will meet it before the Montreal forecheck. Rasmus Dahlin off the turn away, the captaincy. Will go ahead and get open across the right wing as Buffalo looks to get organized. Owen Power, they'll elect for the drop pass. Caden Gooley in the box, partially for roughing off that 4-on-4, alongside Logan Stanley for a slash. 1 more minute for that, and about a 50 seconds difference in between game time of the second period. Jake Evans, little abbreviated timeout behind his own net. As Montreal will look to get organized here. They'll be attacking left to right for the rest of the second. Jerseys in white with the red tops and the blue pants. Matheson will take the ice that's in front of him as this goes toward the right side boards. Gooley plays this off the bumper. As Matheson with a chance, Gooley try to chase it, and this will be recollected for Alex Tuch. Bowen Byram lost in between the backside of his skates. And this will be recollected now for Montreal. 1:10 left to go officially in the second. Joining with you alongside Ian Genji, who's gracefully drumming for this one. Josh Anderson getting some camera shots now as Buffalo looks to go ahead on the attack. Matthias Samuelsson sitting in now for Josh Norris. Norris was really good in Ottawa and before all of the other injuries, as this is picked up now. Stanley will come back on the ice alongside Caden Gooley. This is stolen in behind the net now by Benson. He might be a little bit ornery there after a couple of those hits he had to take, as this is Doan with a one-timer. Now to the right side. Traffic in front of the net and scores. Guess who it is? Benson. Doan gets the steal a couple of times, and Buffalo's got life before the end of the second period. They're doing an ISO cam essentially on Benson. He gets that puck into an open area. Dobson is not going to be able to slide over, and he created that all by himself. So Buffalo got something to feel good about to bring into the second period. They got time for one more rush here. Stranger things can happen. As it's picked up now near the left side. Dobson already out there. Don't want this the other way for Texier as his wrist shot gets blocked. Down to 15 seconds. Buffalo trying to get out of their own zone now. It's stolen out in the middle of the slot. Redirected there for the goaltender Alex Lyon. Down to 5 seconds. And Buffalo will escape in their own end. They got one to feel good about. It is Benson at the end of the period. It makes it 3-1. Buffalo's still down a couple. It looks like Benson got a shiner as well, either from that Dobson punch or the latest as he was getting worked over by Dobson. But as it is, Buffalo now only down 2 after 40. It's 3-1 Canadiens. It's Benson from Timmins and Doan.
If you think you might be pregnant, you want to know. Try Clear Blue Early Digital. It detects low levels of the pregnancy hormone. Clear results in more than 6 days before your miscarriage. Clear Blue, America's most trusted brand. The new Nutella ice cream is finally here. The incredible taste of Nutella in every spoonful. New Nutella ice cream. A spoonful of happiness.
Introducing new Kinder Bueno frozen yogurt. A crisp
So at 18:05, Dobson forced a hold, carrying the box for a hook. Buffalo is 0 for 2. 14:58 a counterattack as Evan makes the pass to New Hook. He gets inside positioning on Dahlin at his second. Montreal 0 for 3 on the power play, but it's 2:30 of straight time in the zone. Looking comfortable. I'm not seeing any push from the Sabres. That's what I had initially. Dobson cleans out Benson at 2:56 and gets the steal behind the goal line. After at 37.2, maybe Benson was a little bit ornery. It was a good pass from Timmins, but Dobson working over Benson about 3 other times. And behind the net, he gets wide open near the left post. Dobson can't slide over. Buffalo finally gets one, and it's 3-1 after 2. Let's give you those shots in particular. So 21-19 on the shot board for Montreal. 9 shots to 11, so Buffalo had the advantage there in that frame, but Montreal has in totality. Hits are 33-14. So 33-14 for Buffalo, 13-5 edge for them in that period. And the face-offs, 23-13 for the Canadiens. It's 10-7 Montreal in that frame. Buffalo 0 for 4 on the power play. And Montreal 0 for 3. Knicks getting late into the third quarter have a 76-60 or 76-70 lead on the Philadelphia 76ers. Too many 7s and 6s mixed in there. It is Spurs and Minnesota getting going at 9:45. Both of these games on Prime tonight. We're going to go to the sixth inning, 1-1 between the Tigers and Royals. Rockies up 7-2, going to the eighth against the Phils. The Athletics up 3-2 on the Birds. It is the Angels and the Blue Jays 2-0 for the Jays. The Rays are riding a big winning streak, I believe 9, but the Red Sox trying to win their 4th game in a row. They lead 2-0 top of the 6th. Nationals have a 3-2 lead on the Marlins. The Twins get one back, but it's still 4-1 Guardians. Brewers all over the Yankees 5-0. High scoring game between the Mariners and White Sox. It's in the 5th. The Mariners up 6-5. And the Cubs, who I believe have the best record in baseball. When we look at the Yankees here, they're 26-12. They're also 26-12, so tied for the best record. They lead 1-0 against the Rangers. You got Mets and Diamondbacks a little bit later. Cardinals, Padres, that's on Apple. Braves and Dodgers, that'll be a good one at 10-10. Pirates and Giants, and then the one that's gone final, the Astros unleash the pain on the Reds, win 10-0.
Showing some speed, some creativity. Doesn't score there, but I like the way he possesses the puck. Takes the lead, hits the corner with no big deal. When he gets to the source, goes right to Ricky, blows right past Dahlin. He needs the road runner, and again he stops this part of the blue paint. Amazing effort from Doan on Montreal. Tampa Bay series, and I want to roll it back if I can on that goal. Dobson takes a hit to make a play behind the goal line. They're on the penalty kill. Sometimes you know what's going to happen. Watch Shutter at the bottom of the street. Watch Dobson. Boom. He gets absolutely level, but he makes his play and starts it out. That's the reason they go down this 2-on-2 and out. Dahlin,
I'll be right back.
Right, but it's a 2-on-2 with more pressure, so you don't allow it to cross ice. I would have been back and do that one more time to see exactly what you're talking about. As a goalie, are you paying attention at before coming on the wall, or are you yelling at this D-man, Dahlin to cover and do it?
Well, I'm just waiting for this pass to be, fall across the ice. Because he's coming down slow, he's not looking for a shot. So you just wait and you put all your weight on your left leg. And as soon as that pass comes, what you're trying to do is just time that puck. You don't want to be ahead of the puck. You want to make sure as soon as that puck needs to stick, you come across and bring your body across. Again, you don't expect the shot from that angle the way he was coming down.
Credit Evans, man. That's a heck of a play to make from that side to get that over. Perfectly thread the needle there.
And to come right off the penalty kill and get that huge momentum, so he takes the air out of the building, but now there's a little bit of light. That's unbelievable. I mean, he's become a huge story in this round during this postseason, but it's just a working for his game to make this play.
Yeah, I think his skill is underappreciated and underrated. This has been the whole night. I mean, I talked about how good he is on the forecheck. Obviously, Dobson, not a big fan of him for how much he's been around the blue paint, but he'll take that abuse in front of that front. There's Matheson again. You go back to last game, first shift, it was Matheson, it was Anderson, and he loves this type of stuff. This is what gets him engaged. I would always talk about dragging your team into the fight, and here's the goal here, but for me, it was all the work he put in before. This is behind the net, doing a great job, and he's just on it. Always got to stick in the right lane and just get there. And I tell you what, man, this is the type of guy you need on every team. 20 years old, still a lot of the game left, and remarkable for how mature it's come along in all that
Like this Buffalo, that especially that shift moves more east-west passes, cross ice, finding those opens through the Montreal box, because so far in this game, it's been a few opportunities, but it's straight on. Dobson just feel it. He's making those saves because he doesn't have to move. But when you watch that clip, especially from the behind the net camera, and you see how hard it was for Dobson to even track the puck, what we talked about earlier, the passing, cross, constantly. Those are the types of plays I think Buffalo needs to keep looking for to really open them up, but also to make it harder for Dobson.
Yeah, that goal was huge, Liam. That was so big, and the Sabres was so quiet. He's getting a little momentum going into that third period. We'll see if it carries over, because right now, Damas is looking like two Damas.
He's not looking for the Damas in this whole third period. It's almost going to be here. But that mentions what he tells us. You'll buy me the blue paint. That's exactly the blue paint. You'll buy me people's faces on the ice.
Catching the blue paint.
That bends at the back of the net, too. We got a 2-goal game against them.
Iodine is approved for adults with bipolar 1 disorder with acute, mixed, or manic episodes. Unlike some drugs for bipolar 1 disorder, nausea, vomiting, and restlessness are not common with Fanapt. Fanapt may be associated with serious side effects. Elderly patients with dementia-related psychosis treated with antipsychotics are at increased risk of stroke or death. Fanapt is not approved for elderly with dementia-related psychosis. Fanapt prolongs the QT interval and may be associated with abnormal heart rhythm or sudden death. In 5% or more of people in clinical trials, heart rate increases, dizziness, hypertension, weight gain, dry mouth, stuffy nose, sleepiness, and increases in liver enzymes have been observed. These are not all the side effects. Talk to your prescriber and learn more at fanapt.com. By Vanda Pharmaceuticals.
Want a twist on breakfast? Try the new limited time DQ breakfast collection. Like new cinnamon toast crunch dip cone with, cinnamon dust. And the new fruity pebble shake with real cereal. It's your plain cereals out of the box and into treats. And don't miss the new chocolate frosted donut blizzard treat with real cakey donut pieces. It smooths up and rolls down with the new breakfast selection. Good for any time of day, but not for long.
If attention never was, kitchens weren't chaotic, spatulas didn't swap, knives never double dipped, treats never touched, then food allergy accidents would never happen. Until then, there's Xolair, the first FDA-approved biologic injection, proven to significantly reduce severe food allergy reactions, including anaphylaxis.
Don't use if you are allergic to Xolair. Xolair may cause a severe, life-threatening allergic reaction called anaphylaxis.
Tell your doctor if you've ever had anaphylaxis. Get help right away if you have trouble breathing or if you have swelling of your throat or tongue. Xolair should not be used for the emergency treatment of allergic reactions, including anaphylaxis. Xolair is for maintenance use to reduce allergic reactions, including anaphylaxis, while avoiding food allergens. Serious side effects such as cancer, fever, muscle aches and rash, parasitic infection, or heart and circulation problems have been reported.
Talk to an allergist about Xolair today.
My name is Yana Perazo. I chose SNHU's online program specifically because of flexibility. It made it possible. I have been a professional wrestler for 12 years. A lot of times I was ringside writing papers and getting journals done. You won't get the same time and respect as an in-person student. I didn't need to be anywhere to register. I didn't need to talk to anyone in person. Everything could be done through my laptop. And they made that process seamless. I made it to the finish line, and you can too. Get started at snhu.edu.
Are you one of the millions surprised by rising prices? Well, AT&T just raised your price. You have rights. I'm not entirely sure we are because I'm employed and just such a British accent. But I do know this. Right now, bring your phone to T-Mobile. They'll give you $400 plus pay off your phone up to $800 when you switch. And with T-Mobile's price guarantee on their experience plans, they've got to raise the price of your rate plans for 5 years. Join T-Mobile and I guarantee you won't look back. And that's a guarantee. Am I saying guarantee too much to feel like an actual lawyer?
You're watching the Discover Intermission Report. Discover, the official card of the NHL.
Ryan Whitney doesn't really have anything on me. I was on the Spitting Chicklets podcast before. This nasty. I got to pull up off the people here. Get snapshot with our high school friends on dating apps right now. Yeah. Oh my God! I know what you're into. You're slightly laughing all over the place and you're matching with our friends. We're going to have a problem. You bet me I know dating.
No,
Right in the jump. You worry about your old Patriot crew there, Ron. I've been doing my push-ups here, boys. If I want to talk about a game, I'm going to bring in the ring. I'll see you in Ruff and Rowdy, pal. You keep your mouth shut. Little bro in there. Holy cow. My God. So I'm going to bring all the skeletons out of your closet, Ron. Wait and see, buddy. It's high school friends, correct? It's high school friends. Yes.
Fanapt iloperidone is approved for adults with bipolar 1 disorder with acute mixed or manic episodes. Unlike some drugs for bipolar 1 disorder, nausea, vomiting, and restlessness are not common with Fanapt. Fanapt may be associated with serious side effects. Elderly patients with dementia-related psychosis treated with antipsychotics are at increased risk of stroke or death. Fanapt is not approved for elderly with dementia-related psychosis. Fanapt prolongs the QT interval and may be associated with abnormal heart rhythm or sudden death. In 5% or more of people in clinical trials, heart rate increases, dizziness, hypertension, weight gain, dry mouth, and increases in liver enzymes and liver. These are not all the side effects.
Right.
Just discover and learn more at fanapt.com by Vanda Pharmaceuticals.
Anything all right?
Nick's lead is cut to 78-74 with 2:56 in the third.
That name on your shirt? It means something. Because Liberty Mutual customizes car insurance to save people hundreds. Stop that. Now let's get out there. Play like it.
Again, Doug? Parents need to stay up with you. Also, get your little buddy.
No. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty.
How do you know?
I don't know this.
Okay. Obligation. You would have sacrificed it.
Yeah, I do.
With the IHOP value menu, you can go all out. Because a whole feast is just $6. You can get a huge plate of eggs, bacon,
From what I talked about earlier, one second, we mentioned this in the first enrichment about Draymond trying to go after Charles Barkley. I don't know who this guy is, but sometimes you get random things that pop in on your X feed. It said Draymond told a joke so bad it might have legitimately altered his post-NBA career. It wasn't a joke. I can't believe that gets 50,000. You can just post anything, people just like it, I guess.
You're watching the Stanley Cup playoffs on TNT Sports, presented by Geico Montreal, with a 3-1 lead getting 7th and 3rd period tonight in Buffalo. We say hello once again, Brennan
Jim Nils said today that he believes teams should be rewarded more than they currently are for winning the President's Trophy in the regular season. To do what? Like 1-8? What can you change? It's always been that way. It just sounds like a bunch of excuses.
A little warning from the officials after that, so we'll see how it goes. But once you hear the term, got to be engaged in games, well, it certainly has been.
One more period, unless we need more. 1945 left to go in it. It's a 3-1 lead now for Montreal as Zach Benson got within at least one more for Buffalo. They're down 2 at the KeyBank Center. Trying to take a 2-0 series advantage against Montreal, but I just don't think they played well enough. Doan, and off the drop, he gets sticked away, and now Montreal looks to escape. This will be flipped back down the ice. Owen Parr will start this one from left to right. Again, it's the jerseys in blue with the mix of gold that Buffalo had and those 2 swords. And alongside the Montreal Canadiens, they'll be going right to left with the red tops, the white jerseys, and the blue pants. As Texier, they'll get Dorf from the left side corner now, and now held. Owen Power trying to help get this one loose as we get some camera shots there. Texier still trying to find a new hook who's got a couple of goals. Look for a lead pass, as this will be Bowen Byram beating Philip Dano to the puck for a hybrid ice at 18:52. That's a really cool camera shot for TNT. They had Martin St-Louis and Zach Benson for coaching for a minor league team there. And now Benson ended up playing against St-Louis and the Montreal Canadiens. That's pretty cool. Dano can't win the draw as this goes to Buffalo. To the left side blue line. Picked up in the middle of the slot. Buffalo's got a chance to shoot. And this is trying for Krebs. He can't get it on net, and then it flips into the crowd at 18:38. That was Jason Zucker with the last chance there that hit Dobson right in the gut at 18:38. The shot board is 21-19. We're in the KeyBank Center in Buffalo, New York. Zucker now trying to find it. This will be a race for the puck. Montreal going to go ahead and beat this down the ice. It's Hutson on the back end. He gets canceled off. They'll recorrect up the rim around the inboards. And Montreal heading in behind the net. It's thrown back up to the point. Hutson gets his shot deflected. That almost surprised Alex Lyon. There's this one now for Rasmus Dahlin. Can't reach. It'll touch the stick of Dobson, so that negates the icing. Dobson has only given up 1, 18 of 19. He's in a much better game here in this game numero dos. They're up 3-1. Toward the left side red line now. Find the entry as this is knocked away from Tuch. Doan was helped trying to provide support. Let's go to Matthias Samuelsson. Samuelsson now the last line of defense as this is knocked away from Benson. He gets hit by 3 different players, and Buffalo have to retreat in their own end. Have to start again now. And off the leave. Here from Owen Power. Sent back in on the inboard. Samuelson will chip it in. Matheson has some trouble with it, and Zach Benson was in his grill. Picked up now near the left side. Now on the high slot. Benson doesn't shoot. Turnaround will get blocked, and Montreal will escape some of the pressure. Throw it out of the zone for Samuelson. Crisscross. Here for Bowen Byram. Stanley Cup champion with the Colorado Avalanche. And it will take Buffalo a little bit of work to do to at least get into the next round. Maybe play Carolina and try to then play his former team, but stranger things can happen. Picked up now through the left side. One-timer will be held by Dilbesh. No screen as he slides over near the right side of the crease and makes the save. D-zone draw coming for Montreal. McLeod will get set to take it for Buffalo. Got Owen Power to his left. Tage Thompson off the drawback straight, but it will belong to Marty St. Louis squad. And chip down off the chase. It is New Hook one more time. He has got blinding speed. We've known that from Colorado, but might be able to take his talents here for Montreal and score a couple goals in this game. He gets more offensively involved. Alex New Hook is extremely dangerous. This is toward the left side red line. Entry here for Tuch. Tuch in off the pass in the middle of the circles. It's picked off in between some skate blades. Dilbesh fights it off. Trying to bank it off of Dilbesh was Thompson, but he'll pick it up near the right side dot. Power. Now Thompson. Thompson will delay. He lost an edge. Another 2-on-1. Montreal scores! Carrier! That's 4-1! And it's the second time they've done that in the second period and now in the third at 16:06. I'm going to say this honestly, put this for the recorder side. Buffalo Sabres won the Atlantic. They look really good. I've said about Montreal as well, how dangerous they can be. But I said this in the second frame, and I'm going to double down here at 15:42. They play like this in Montreal a couple of nights from now, it's going to be a 3-1 series lead for the Montreal Canadiens. I've not seen anything to push back here to warrant me that the Buffalo Sabres will advance to the third round. And game one's much different, but this is all Montreal here. That was a hard-working goal for Benson in the second, and Carrier, as Tage Thompson falls down, fumbles the puck. Tuch didn't shoot either. You get a little indecisive, and a 2-on-1 no pass, top left corner wrister for Carrier goes off the pipe and in past Lyon, beats him clean. And Montreal's 3-goal lead is restored as Buffalo's iced the puck. That's just my thoughts. Again, it's just one game, but I try to provide some of that color, especially when solo, not working with Alec or Cooper. Sometimes Ian will be able to chime in as well, but just to give you my thoughts and really the no BS look that I try to throw across, but Buffalo did not look ready to play today. Another one of these draws for Suzuki. Here comes a ripper for Dobson. Picked up now by Slaf. Lions had a rough game. Dobson again, as this one goes up the left side of the red line. Who knows if you go back to Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen? I just don't think the team played well around him. Step through. Dobson. They'll drop it back for Suzuki. High slot now Montreal. Had a lot of this where it's looked like practice. Suzuki, watch this pass curl out of the zone. We'll have to start again and pick it up. There's been a lot of booing here for Buffalo on their team in game 2, not just for the goal announcements for Montreal, but just in general apathy, I think, as this is toward the left side red line. Sent back in now. 14:40 left to go in the third, and I wish I could say this game was closer, but it is not. As the shot gets hit off of Dobish and deflected up and out of play.
Very little real estate. They knew they were going to make adjustments. The Buffalo Sabres not getting enough and even strength. And when they had that chance, fellas, I give a lot of credit to
Jake Evans will go ahead and take it. Connor Timmins is a straight man back, as this is a shot that's blocked. One of the Montreal Canadiens lost a stick. They got to go to the bench to pick one up. And both will have to play the chip and chase as it's stopped by Dobish. Dobish has stopped 21 of 22, hasn't faced a whole heck of a lot. And Montreal has provided 24 shots on goal here so far in the game, too. It's a 3-on-2, and a late stick check takes the puck away from Jake Evans. Otherwise, he could have probably eyed the top right corner. 14 minutes thereabouts left to go in the third. Johnny with you alongside Ian Genji, who's been listening in. Bowen Byram with a chance across, and Dobish makes a spectacular save. There's still work to do now. And behind the crease, Dobish will fight it off. Throws us in the high slot. Now Power with a wrister. That one got deflected before whatever hit the netminder. And Montreal stick chop beautifully. Gets it out of the zone. 13:40 left to go in the third. Montreal trying to even up the series and go back to the Bell Center at a game apiece. This is Tuch now with a wrister. Will be deflected. Tuch now pick it up. He'll spin and turn. Throw this at the point. Bowen Byram back to Alex Tuch. He takes the wrister. And this one is saved by Dobish. Now recollect across the right side of the bumper. Dahlin looking for a deflection. Trying to clear out is Anderson. The traffic in front of the net of Dobish will do so. Philip Dano, former LA King. It's his second tour of duty here with Montreal. Throws it off the outside of the cage of Alex Lyon. And Montreal first to it toward the left side boards. Doan is bothering that for a moment. It's loose at a front. One-timer gets blocked. That was a glorious setup, but an even better block by Buffalo. As they'll race across the left wing side. 12-9 on the blocks. Montreal's got the edge of that. They're up by 3 on the scoreboard. Pass across. Picked off. Kirby Doc and Avelino try to go ahead and find it. As it's Byram. We'll throw this one ahead. McLeod will get off the ice as one of the Montreal players gets knocked down. And Buffalo in the jerseys of blue and gold. Can't get this one in the offensive end as it's lofted back out across the logo. Now to the right side boards and off the spin and turn. Carrier, who scored the goal in this third, the latest that made it 4-1, ended up getting the steal as Zach Bolduc throws it down. See if they gain the red. Matthias Samuelsson has it now. And he'll work him behind his own net. Forwards probably change for Lindy Ruff's squad as they'll go left to right. Dahlin off the drop pass. Pick it up now is Rasmus. And this will be chipped in the corner away from Carrier. Dahlin, Samuelsson. Spin and turn on the right side board. It's Peyton Krebs. Krebs now set up the 1T for Samuelsson. This one blocked. Montreal will at least chase this across the opposite red line. And then Krebs takes the hit. Gets in the zone now. Zucker with a cross pass. Had to be recollected off a couple skate blades and looked across the net of Montreal. Hutson. Curl and drag gets it out to Nick Suzuki. Now Slav on the open wing. He'll throw it back to his defense. Their forwards will take a change. Lane Hutson sees that. He'll peel back. 11:15 left to go in the third. Recollected now for Newhook's got a couple goals on hat trick watch. Little toe drag. He can't escape the pressure of Owen Power. It's wrapped around the net now with 11 minutes left to go in the third. Benson gets stuck in his own end. Picked up by Montreal. Good bump at the point now. Pass across the goal mouth. Goes wide. Matheson plays it off the backboards. And this will get sent in. Montreal with a chance for it behind the net. One-timer again. Big save by Lyon. He stretches out. Full sprawl. This goes the other way now. Benson wins the chip and chase. No icing. Montreal has some work to do on their own end, as this will be settled back down and knocked away. One more here for Buffalo, as the stick is taken out of the hands of Matheson. And just trying to find an entry there is Benson. We'll get off the ice now for Lindy Ruff's squad. And a long wrister will be held by Dobson at 10:15 of the third. We'll step aside. Montreal in cruise control, especially after that latest goal. It's 4-1.
Introducing new Kinder Bueno Frozen. Creamy, crispy, irresistible spoonful. Try new Kinder Bueno Frozen. Irresistible Bueno.
We are the Dillos. We are from Northern Kentucky.
We have 2 kids, 5 dogs, 6 horses.
And it's really important to stay connected, being in the rural area.
The biggest thing with switching over to T-Mobile's 5G home internet was the blazing speeds and the reliability.
One day we had nothing, and next day we had everything.
Nothing fast internet.
Yeah. At T-Mobile, bundle 4 phone lines with 5G home internet and save up to $1,000 a year.
The value that we get with T-Mobile.
Tigers have taken a 3-1 lead. Again, both teams need this win badly. Cater Montero has been terrific. 6 innings of 1-run ball, 4 strikeouts. Chris Bubich, 5 2/3, 4 hits, 3 earned, 5 Ks. Torkelson grounded into a double play, but ended up scoring green, so that doesn't count as an RBI. Collins responded, scored Caglione. Winsell Perez doubled the center, scored Dylan Dingler. Torkelson doubled the left, scored Perez. That is where we are now. If you're an MLB The Show fan, which is good to be across the board, but not for this year because it's a tough game. But Salvador Perez just got a 94 overall card release that is free, and then so did Bobby Witt Jr. So the Kansas City Royals are very well represented in the next update that we'll try to get to after I get some food and all the other stuff today.
John, I can tell you this, Salvador Perez does not deserve anywhere near a 94 overall, but how he
Yeah, he got a cornerstone card today for his history through the Royals.
Yes,
So
his history. Not what he's currently doing.
right.
He is an easy out. Honestly, pitchers should just start walking in. Just intentionally walk Vinny if there's 2 outs or if there's 1 out. And just face Salvi. Because he'll swing at anything and almost everything. And if he does get it, it's a full out or a double play.
Yeah, that's the way it goes toward the end of it. But again, as you said, and I've said the same things, everything about the history of career, yes, that's great. But for right now, you're right. You're trying to get wins. It's not working. As it's 9:35, we'll have to go in the third. And this game looks to be all but over. I said that a lot in this one. It was shocking how bad I think the Buffalo Sabres have played in this game to me. And again, it's also another credit to how good Montreal is, as I've said that many times, covering them. Picked up now near the right side boards, up the spin and turn, Tage Thompson will keep it alive. And this is just kept in by the blue line side for Lindy Ruff's squad. The hits are 39-15 for Buffalo. And after playing a full 7-game series against the Bolts, they respond in a big way to the Canadiens in game 2. It's got to get going here from left to right. Tage Thompson off the wall. Nice play. And the wrister will be up and on a play off of Dobson at 8:56. I guess we're going to take another break and pay some more bills. Be right back. Didn't I just say that the Philadelphia Phillies were down, I think, 7-1? It's 7-7 now in the ninth. He scored 5 runs in the 8th. Justin Crawford, latest homer to right center. Scored Bryson Stott. Stott double scores Marsh. Scored Harper. Romito in the 6th. Doubled scored Marsh. Schwarber hit a home run. Kind of wasted Chase Dolander's start. 5 2/3, 3 hits, 5 strikeouts, 2 earned runs.
With the IHOP value menu, you can go all out. Because a whole feast is just $6. You can get a huge plate of eggs, bacon, and fluffy pancakes for just $6 every day. Or maybe you're in the
I thought Ezekiel Tovar for the Rockies was supposed to be one of their cornerstones. 24-year-old is a good defender, but he's only hitting 186 with 9 RBI and just 1 home run. And Trey Turner's only hitting 228. I know Ian's told me about that before. He's had a rough year. I would say about 15 minutes later for puck drop, 9:50 will be Vegas and Ducks. So hopefully we won't need OT. Not that I'd be opposed to it, but I got to get stuff ready for tomorrow. Philip Dano. And off the tie-up, can't win it, as this will be knocked away. And off of a skate and sent back down. Shot board 26-25. Montreal's iced it against themselves, so they cannot change at 8:46.
The Buffalo Sabres, you see Lindy Ruff, usually comes when things aren't going your way, move things around. They got things out.
If you get a chance for Ian to chime in, I can just ask you this because I was thinking about it before. But if you have to pick who's going to win this series, and between Montreal or Buffalo, who are you going to take, honestly?
I mean, it depends who we get night after night. If we get game one Buffalo, then I'm choosing Buffalo. If we get game 2 Montreal, I'm choosing Montreal. See, here's the thing. Both teams have had horrendous games to start the series.
Yeah.
The difference is that Montreal is still a game on road, but if Buffalo comes out game 3 or 4 and takes that, they're back on even ground. So right now, I think we'll learn after game 4. I by that point, or maybe even game 3.
So you really want to see, at least for me, I'm going to take the devil's advocate for the Montreal side because that's where I've been leaning from what I've seen. If they come out and they take control at the Bell Center and win game 3 and go up 2-1, I think I have my answer here as far as where the rest of the series will go. But you're right. If Buffalo comes back and responds after this sour taste in their mouth and they dominate on the road, then maybe that might be enough to swing the series in their favor.
Yeah.
Joe Valeno off of another 2-on-1 for Montreal that was not converted against Slafkovsky and Suzuki that was fought off by Lyon. And this will be an ozone draw for Montreal. This will be 1 now. Here for power and push this one up the ice. 7:45 left to go in the third. And this has been one of the most low event games that I've seen on one side as this is picked up now. Dobish makes a save, but the one thing I can say about Dobish, he really needed an answer from that game 1. He got it. Alex Lyon probably made 1 save less than he should have, but Buffalo didn't respond in kind. And I agree with all the points that Ian made. That's why you're going to have to figure out what's going to happen a couple of nights from now. But I think what it says is either one of these teams can take this series. I don't think there's going to be a situation where this series probably goes any less than 6, is my guess. Is Benson on the backhand. Bowen Byram off a cutback now. Beautiful move. Throws it out in front. taken down, and this is rolling end over end now and picked up by the Canadiens. They'll kill some more time. Get sent back in. 6:50 up to go on the third. We'll get a whistle just before that. An elbow away from the plate, I'm guessing. We're going to stop it at 6:52.
And it all goes back to the point Alec made during our game 1 broadcast when he and I were doing it. You've seen now how inefficient and just ineffective Buffalo's power play is. I don't know, it's probably too late to improve any of it now, but if they don't start getting bounces into the goal on the man advantage, they're going to lose.
That's going to be the complete difference in this series, huh? Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, you had 4 looks at it. You told that to me in the open when you guys covered game 1, and I see it. I just don't see any movement on top of that either. And usually Tage Thompson, who's the initiator with all that shot, it's just too easy to cover when you're not moving.
Yeah, I don't know why they do it so thick. Maybe they just don't have the right guy at power play quarterback.
Demidov's shot gets blocked. Picked up now for Hutson. Back to Ivan Demidov. Demidov patient. This gets deflected off of the blade of Samuelson. And there's been a lot of this too for Montreal, not just on the power play. They've had elongated offensive pressures. Caufield off the post, and that one does not go in. It went off the back iron and stayed out. Ready to wait for this signal. Caufield got all of it, but he just hit the bar. Otherwise, it would have been 5-1. Picked up now the other way. And you could say Montreal hasn't scored on their power play in this game too, and that would be accurate. But they've had much better chances, as this is Mallenstein on his back skate. Will throw this in the point for Jordan Greenway. So power play line numero dos out there right now, and gets skated out of the zone as Buffalo, and have to start again. This is a shorthanded opportunity one more time. And toward the right side, Mallenstein. Able to kill some more. Matheson have this get knocked away from him. And Buffalo does an excellent job this time of the penalty kill after just narrowly giving up one from Cole Caufield hitting the post. Able to kill a lot of time here. But they needed 3 more goals, and they only got 5 minutes left to work with. Matheson in his own end. A little bit of a ginger breakout here, very slow, but you can do that when you got a 3-goal luxury lead. And this is sent in, back wide of Alex Line, working in behind the net as the power play expires. And Benson will get to it first. He'll go for the wraparound opportunity to get canceled off beautifully by Mike Matheson. He was going for pretty much a shorthanded chance. Power play time would have expired right at that marker, but Matheson canceled it off. And now Montreal can start again from behind the net of Dobson. Into the players' bench across the red line. We'll play a stoppage at 4:33. Caufield's chance on the camera shot hit the left post of the bottom and out. Knicks have started to run away. 5:25 left to go in the fourth. They're up 99-86, about to hit the century mark on the Sixers and take a 3-0 series advantage. I can't say the Cavs are dead yet because I don't think they've lost a game at home and they have not won a game on the road, but they're going back to Cleveland to play the Pistons. Let's check when that is. It'll be 3 p.m. on Saturday, so I'll be catching the tail end of that game. The Lakers have to go back home to lick their wounds against the Thunder. I think that series is pretty much over as well. If the Pistons do make the finals and play the Thunder, I'm not going to be the least bit upset should they lose. I'm not expecting them to win the finals. I would have been happy if they could just get to round 3. And they're in good standing to do so, but I expect the Cavaliers to answer and win a game tomorrow. I'm hoping they don't, but I expect them to.
But right now, every Domino's pizza is half off. Every single pizza. I quit. I'm not gonna overthink it. I'm just gonna get half off. So
The Half-Rock totally different thinker here in game 2. Man, what a start for new hook right there. Taking a beautiful pass and then tipping that one in. And then this cross-ice pass, much talked about, debated in the intermission with our NHL on TNT guys. And it ends up being a great play by New Hook. And obviously, 4 shots, 1 block. And look at him working that. I think he's been all over it. Played a big game.
Newark's had a strong game, 2 goals, 4 shots, a block, about 15-29 of ice time, and Alex Lyon is almost getting the signal near the center ice face-off of whether or not they want him to get off the ice here and maybe concede a empty net goal. That's not what Buffalo wants, but it's probably what's going to happen. As this is reflected across the end boards. Again, Vegas and Anaheim will be getting underway in about 15 minutes from now. And that should be right in on time, as this is stripped away by Montreal. Put in the left side corner and picked up now Tage Thompson with an outstretched pass. Thompson gets hooked away, and now Byram will throw it this to Byram will try to pick it up, and Nick Suzuki steals. He scores. It's 5-1 with 4 minutes left to go in the third.
Getting through the neutral zone. You got to credit the Canadiens for what they've done in this game. Again, it's kind of an off pass there for Thompson. Then to try to find him. It comes right to Suzuki, and no mistake by him. That is a tough pass to pick up. So the captain of the Canadiens, Suzuki, wasn't already over. Certainly is now.
I'm done.
Montreal.
Congratulations to your Detroit Tigers. They will be taking game 1 of this series in Kansas City.
And you're saying that at the end of the 7th?
Oh, yeah. John, 2024 out of it. Kansas City Royals have been a joke in Major League Baseball for years, and they are so lucky that this little tidbit they did in 2019 went under the radar when they brought in adult material advocates to be motivational speakers.
Oh boy.
Yeah, because anti-sin and all that, but
Yeah.
they don't have time to practice fundamentals on the baseball field.
Isn't that funny how that works?
Are the Tigers the same way?
Hey, I mean, you're thinking about some of the other things that go on in between the Mud Hens and the Tigers and behind the scenes, and some GMs who have or have not gotten fired because they're too busy messing around in the workplace. I would say so.
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to, not jump the tightrope of fire, but I think the other thing we can say too, obviously, in terms of being on the baseball field, we're lucky that these teams are in a division that refuse to spend money.
Yeah.
I'm going to see who got a primary assist there on that Suzuki goal. Somebody picked one up. I'll get that here for you in a moment. That is Josh Anderson with his second. So Suzuki from Anderson. And then Jordan Greenway and Anderson are continuing to throw fists at each other before the end of this.
Josh Anderson, one of the last moves by professional hockey gambler Mark Bergman. And no, I'm not talking about money, but somehow built a cup contender out of it. But Josh Anderson is one of the last remnants of his GM reign. And regular season-wise, not that impressive. Yet when they make it to the postseason, he finds a way to live up 7 years, $38.5 million.
Yeah, you have to do that. I mean, I saw a game, Game 5 when the Canadiens beat the Lightning. It was Brendan Gallagher, who I think has been a lifer for Montreal. He was benched, I think, for the first 5 games or something like that, and then he scored the first goal of the game.
Yeah.
So Buffalo gets another power play out of this, and Alex Line is pulled, so it is going to be a 6-on-4. Does Buffalo score on this? Place your bets as the one-timer hits the glass, and this will roll back around now for Owen Power. He is open on the right wing side. This is at the left now for Tage Thompson. One-timer, Benson. This one blocked. Montreal picks it up. It'd be something if they scored shorthanded here off of a 6-on-4. As this goes back down, just to make it a 6-1 differential and drive even more salt in the wound. They played great, but as Ian mentioned, alongside Alec for game 1 that they covered, both teams have exchanged a bad game. But if you're only thinking about the last 24 hours, I don't know about Buffalo here. As Doan off the drop. This is recollected now from McLeod. McLeod will be patient near the right side. Got to get some shots on net. There's just too much passing. As this is picked up now from McLeod near the left side dot. Chance in the high slot. Back to McLeod in that same spot as they switch ends. This is Krebs. Crowd wants a shot, and we get a whistle away from the play. I think some cross-checking at the net maybe as Benson has a big smile on his face after he's gotten a shiner, and then Dobish giving him some more words. So remember, Dobish had that blocker punch on Benson not too long ago, and they were getting some shoves in on it is Caufield, and Dobish then throws another punch on Benson as everyone's getting too close to his crease. Trying to see if I see anything else after this in real time. Dobish another slash on Benson, and Benson is the one that's going to go to the box. So no, Buffalo doesn't score, and they take a penalty. It's 4-on-4 offsetting for 44 seconds. That is absolutely brutal. 25 saves, 1 goal allowed, 25 of 26. Only 12 saves for Dobish on 12 of 16 in game 1. So it's been quite a bounce back. Got to give him credit, but also, as I said from this game too, and I can't repeat it enough, I think it's also more about what Buffalo doesn't do. And as Ian mentioned to me, from the lack of power play success, it really just comes down to shooting pucks at the net. I know it's a point blanket statement, but you're just being way too cute, especially if you have a 6-on-4 and then you commit a penalty. Montreal has not lost back-to-back games in this playoff so far, so that's impressive in itself. It's picked up now. Near the right side boards, we got 60 seconds left to go, mercifully, in this game too, as it's been all Montreal 5-1. A couple more cross-checks into the right side boards. And Montreal playing very physical here. Caden Gooley helps get this loose, and Joe Valeno got it. A lot of empty blue seats at KeyBank. Montreal has done their job to shift this one back to the Bell Center at 1-1 as the crowd continues to boo. Montreal is going to carry over power play time to the end of it unless they score in the final 30 seconds. This is sent back down now for the left side red line. It will be rimmed in. Montreal put it back in behind their end boards, and Goulet should be able to call off the Dogs. Don't know how much Buffalo is going to forecheck here. That was Josh Norris. As this is rimmed around the end boards, Dobish will stop it, and Buffalo will turn away. 5-1 Montreal winners in Game 2 at KeyBank Center, Buffalo, New York. Absolute domination as this series is tied. Series will return back on Sunday. I will probably return early next week. You guys have a good one. Ian, I appreciate you joining me, my friend. Hopefully we'll talk soon.
Yes, sir. Have a good night.
Good night from Buffalo. The Montreal Canadiens, 5-1 winners.
Canadiens slap the Sabres, win 5-1. We'll talk soon. Peace.
First time sport.